Test, test. Test, test. Hi, guys. Hey, welcome back. Time for another Sudoku, and it is a hard puzzle. Looking for some patterns, looking for some cool lines here. We got a line, a line, a line, some lines here. Got a 5 and a 4 going through, and a 5 and a 4 going top and bottom. Gives us some ghost numbers and ghost rows. Got a cool little plus pattern up here and here. Got a line here. Okay, alright. I see I got two 9s here, 9 top, 9 bottom, 9 left. So this is the only spot left for a 9 here. Okay, alright, we've got our 3 9s over here. Got a 9 bottom and middle and right. So we can put 2 9s here. 9 left and right and bottom, so it can be this one or this one. And then in the center one, bottom and right, so it can be any one of these three. So I'm not going to mark that one just yet. Okay, let's see what else I have. Just kind of letting my mind wander over some patterns here. We've got a pair of 6s going this way. Okay, I do see this 1 here on the bottom and a 1 down the left right here. So this is the only spot left for a 1. That's nice. So a 1 on the left, 1 through the center, 1 through the top. So we only have 2 spots for a 1 over here. Okay, we've got a 1 in the top, 1 through the bottom, 1 through the right. So we know that's it there. Alright, we still have 3 here. We still have 3 here. We still have 3 here. Okay. Alright. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, we just found this 1 from a 1 and a 1. So what's this, a 2? Oh, that would have been cool if there was a 2 up here. That would have given this a 2. But this 2 and this 2 does double lock these two together. That's going to give us some good things. We have 2 now across the bottom and a ghost row 2 across the top. So 2 has to be here. Okay. And what else do we have here? Okay, cool. So these ghost rows are really important. See this 8 here? So no 8 down this whole left column. So that means an 8 has to be here. So I have an 8 through the middle. I have a ghost row. Can't have an 8 here because one of these two has to be an 8, which makes this one an 8. It's the only spot left that could have an 8. So we've only got 3 spots left here. And let's see what else we need. We got a 1, we got a 2, we've got a 3. Alright, we need a 4, and it can't be here. So one of these two is a 4. Okay, cool. Well, we need a 5 and a 7. And see how they're both in this column, a 5 and a 7? And you can't have a 5 and a 7 here. That means this has to be a 5 and a 7. Or this has to be a 5 and a 7, but this is the only spot left for a 4. Alright, so let's get rid of that 4, 5 or a 7, 5 or a 7. Okay, now this 4 does come across, and now we have a 4 down here. And 6, 8, and 9, 6, 8, and 9. Okay, this cube already has... Oh, what did I put a 3 in there for? I got overexcited there. We already got our 3. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, all right. So there's some of these I haven't even started to mark just yet because I've noticed some patterns, but I was kind of holding off on them. But let's go ahead and let's start looking for our pairs. Like here's a pair of 5s, top, middle. So we know this bottom one of these two has to be a 5. let's look at this cube here for a moment. See, this 3 comes through here. So 3 actually has to be here. Okay, so we do have a ghost row of 3 that comes down. Solid 3. So at 3 down here in this bottom cube can only be in one of these 2 spots. Okay, so we've got our 1. We've got our 2. We've got our 3. So 4 comes up, and it can't be these 2, and it can't be this one. So 4 has to be here, and that is actually very good, folks, because that means that these 3, this does not happen very often. This is a triple elimination. A triple elimination. These 3 cubes have to be 1, 3, and 4. They cannot be anything else. And we have a 2 and a 9, so that tells me that out of this cube, even though I have no way of eliminating a 7 anywhere, this is the only cube left that can actually be a 7. So if we were to do like a crisscross here, we could see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Using rows, columns, and cubes, that is the only spot that a 7 could go. That's pretty cool. I like this triple elimination. I don't see that very often, so when I see that, I get kind of excited. Okay, now this 5 and 7 and 5 and 7 are going to do a double lock down here, because you can't have a 5 or a 7 on the top, and you cannot have a 5 or a 7 through the middle. So for this cube, these 2 are now double locked. These have to be 5s and 7s. Okay. Now we do have a 4 that comes up through the middle, and we have a 4 down here on the right, this ghost row. So that tells me this is the only spot left for a physical 4. Now we have a physical 4 top, physical 4 bottom, and a 4 in the right. So in this cube, it has to be one of these 2 for our 4. We do have a 2 in the left, we have a 2 down the right, and a 2 through the center. So we know that we have to have a 2 in one of these 2 spots for this particular cube. Okay, so let's come back here and let's look at this for just a moment here. We've got a 1, we've got a 2. Now the 3 can't be here, so 3 can be any one of these ones. We've got our 4, we've got our 5. Where can our 6 go? 6 can't be on the right lane, so 6 could be any one of these. Got our 7 marked. And then we need an 8 and a 9. Alright, so no 9 in the right, no 9 on the bottom. So the 9... Okay, I think we just eliminated the 3... What do we put? A 9, a 6, and a 3 have to be here in the middle. So we did another triple elimination. So this particular spot, we can now identify what the number is, because it's 1, 2, cannot be a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 9 is the only, so there's our 8. That's the only place that it can be. That's pretty neat. Okay, so that helps us down here. 8. Clean that up. Alright, okay, so I think this 5 and 7 is going to match this 5 and 7. So that way we're matched up, but I don't know just yet. Let's see here. Okay, cool. So you see this 2 here. This cannot be a 2, so the 2 has to be over here. So that actually locks our 2 and 3. That means this one has to be a 5 and a 7, like I was suggesting. But that also tells me up here, if this has to be a 2, this can't be a 2. Has to be a 9, has to be a 2, and those are solid. Okay, very good, very good. All right, 2, 3, 5, 7. Those are locked. Those are pretty. We like that. Okay, okay, okay. So let's take a look here at this particular. Yep. Okay, because I saw this 8 can't be here, 8 can't be here, and 8 can't be here. So in this particular row, the only place an 8 can go is right here. Again, can't be here, can't be here, can't be here. So 8. Now, if either one of these was a 5, and this can't be a 5 over here, can't be a 5 here, this is now our only spot left for a 5. Alright, so we see we're missing a 1 and a 4, And that's going to match here, 1 and a 4. And I'm looking to see if I have anything to help me out with that down here, which I do not just yet. All right. Now I do have a 5 that comes down the center and across the top. So now I get to put in these guys. Let's see here. We also have an 8 that goes through the center and across the top. So 5 and 8s are now locked in this particular cube. Now we also have an 8 across the top, 8 through the middle, and 8 through the center. So 8 has to go in one of these two spots here. Now this 8 comes up the center and the middle. So actually this cube, this is the only spot left for an 8, which helps us with these two. And I clean up my pencil mark. There we go. All right, that looks good. Boop, 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 boop. Putting in some numbers. Very good, very good. All right, and so we do know the other 3. What is it? A 3 and a 6 are the other 2 numbers that go here. 3 and a 6. Yeah. Okay. So let's take a look at this particular cube. Since these two are double locked, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything else. We've got our 9, we've got our 8. Okay, so see the 7 comes across, and these two bring a 7 across. So the only place left for a 7, those 7s are kind of funny. The only way I found these 7s is through some ghost rows and some projections here. So that's kind of cool. So there's a 7 there. Okay. All right, 9, 8, 7. Okay, what about a 6? Now 6 can be anywhere except for this right one. So I still got 3 choices for my 6. 5, 4. Okay, now 3 cannot be in the left or the right. So my 3 has to be one of these two in the center. Okay, 3, 2 and 1. Okay, I don't have any eliminations for 2. My 1 just can't be over here in the right side. So it looks like 1 and 6 are going to be my other 2 numbers. Does that do a triple elimination? 3, 1, and 6? I think it does. 3, 1, and 6. I think this is the only spot that a 2 can go. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey, look at that. So that was not what I wanted. That was my 2. So it looks like a lot of this particular game, for this particular pattern, we're looking horizontal, vertical, and the cube to fill up the 1 through 9. So far that's been what's really kind of been helping us out quite a bit. Alright, so this 2 is going to come over here and help us with these 2 2s. It has to be here now. Let me clean up my pencil mark. 2, 2. Okay, and then here's our 2 here. 2. Alright, now we have a left and a right, so no 2 in the left, no 2 in the right. So the 2 here, 2 2's got to be in the middle. That's kind of fun. Alright. Okay, and then a 1, we already know it can't be through the middle. We still have, okay, and 1 and 6 are these ones here. Okay, let's take a look at this one here. 1, 2, 3. So 4 can't be in the left. So 4 has to be here. 5. 6 cannot be in the right. And then 7 can't be in the center. Okay, so that's all marked up good. Now I do have a set of 6s here, so I'm going to follow the 6s and the 6s, so I know my 6 here has got to be in the middle. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, now I'm looking in this right column here, and I saw this 5 and an 8. Like I've got an 8 here. Okay, I cannot put an 8 here. This is actually the only spot left for an 8. See these 2 8s? So this is actually the only spot left for an 8 in this column. And that helps me know that this is now our 5. Okay. I now have a 5 down the left and down the center. So that means our 5 is out here. And then we have a 7 still in this column. We have 5, 4, and 7. So I think either one of these could be our 7 for the moment, but we'll just hold off on that for just a second. Okay. Alright, so we're moving along here pretty good. 1, 2, 3. Okay, anytime there's 3, I really want to make sure. Alright, so I need a 1 in this column. Can't be here, and can't be here. So this one has to be my 1. Now as soon as I do that, one of these two had to be 1. So that has to be my 1. I'm now going to clean up my pencil mark. Those two are double locked, 3s and 4s. Okay, now here's a cool pattern called a crisscross pattern. Hards and very hards use this all the time when you have two sets of numbers, and I'm looking at the 4, just specifically the 4. You see how the 4 is in the top and the bottom? And see how it's in the top and the bottom? Obviously it's got to be a 4, that's the only number that's left. But if you had some empty numbers, if you have a number that's double locked, if this is a 4, then this has to be a 4. If this is a 4, this has to be a 4. It's creating a crisscross for elimination, which would bring it over here to the last cube. No 4 on the top because one of these two have to be 4. No 4 in the middle because one of these two have to be 4, which tells us this one has to be a 4. So crisscross pattern for hards and very hards are in every single one. Every single one I've played has had this crisscross pattern. Now we do have two 4s here, so I'm going to clean up my 4s here. That helps us with that, and I'll take out the old 4. Let's see. Just double checking to see if we helped anything else finish off with that, or we can keep going. Let's look at this here for just a moment. We've got a 1, we've got a 2, we need a 3, and it can be anywhere. 4, 5, we need a 6, and that can't be in the top, so the 6 has to be here, and then we need a 7, and that looks like that can be anywhere. You know what? I got distracted. We were working on this column. Squirrel! 1, 2. So the two numbers that we have left is a 3 and a 6. Okay, a 3 and a 6. Do we have anything that can help us horizontally? No, we don't. That's okay. 3 and a 6. 3 and a 6. Okay. And that's the other number that's missing here is a 3 and a 6, and we know that that's one of our choices. So, okay. Where did I go? I was going to look at another set of 3s. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we need a 1, and it could be here or here, because we know we got a 6. Yeah. Alright, so I've got 3 this way. Let's take a look at it this way, because I noticed a 1 immediately. Let's look at this row here. Can't have a 1 here. Can't have a 1 here. These two are locked as 5s and 7s. They can't be anything else. So in this particular column, no, row, 1, 1. This is the only spot that actually can be a 1. Now that's going to help us because that eliminates this one is the only one now that can be a 1 down here. I'm going to clean up my 1. And that makes this one a 3. Alright, so the only number left here in this block is 6. We'll put that in there, and now if this is 6, that makes this one our 7. If that is our 7, that makes this one our 4. If that's a 4, that makes that one our 6. Okay, so now the numbers are trickling really fast here. We have a 4 that we just put in. One of these two is our 4. Has to be here. One of these two was our 2. We have a 2 right here. This is the only one left for a 2. Alright, I will take that 4 out of there. I think the 7 was the other number that we weren't sure where it went. So let me go ahead and finish that pencil mark. Now this 4 here comes across and helps us. This can't be a 4 anymore. That's a 3. That's a 4. Alright, we were just missing one number here. 1, 2, looks like a 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, and a 7, I think is the other number we're missing. There we go. That's nice and clean. Okay, so these 1s are really helping us out. I'm looking here in this particular cube. We've got a 1 here through the middle. We've got a 1 through the left, which tells me this is the only spot left in this cube for a 1, which then tells me this is the only spot left for a 9, because we have a 9 left and right. I did those backwards, left and right. So we'll put a 9 there. Then this 9 helps us with this 9, because that's the only spot left for a 9. And now we know that this one is not a 9, but a 3 or a 6, which is also 3 or 6 here, which is also a 3 or 6 here. See that nice little rectangle-ish beauty? Alright, so now when we look at this particular one, this should help solve everything to slide it into place if we can get it all. 1, 2, 3. Now we need a 3. Now this 3 here comes right down through the middle, so 3 is either here or here. 4, we need a 5. 5 cannot be down the left, and it cannot be down the right. Okay, you remember that crisscross pattern I was talking to you about earlier? Look what we just did. See these 2 5s? And look at these 2 5s. So if you look at this particular row, if you use the crisscross pattern, this 2 says there cannot be another 5 in the top row. These 2 say there cannot be another 5 in the bottom row. So this can't be a 5. But if you also look at this particular row, this is locked as a 2 and a 3, so it can't be a 5. This one can't be a 5 because of this one. And so this is the only one that naturally lets it be a 5. Okay? Now that's going to help solve all these other ones. Trickle down to the 7. That's a 7. There's our 5. If that's a 5, well, then this one has to be a 5. This one is now our 7. If that's a 7, this one's a 5. If that's a 5, this one's our 7. And they just nicely cascade each other. Alright, so this is not a 5 anymore. We'll take that 5 out of there. So we know that this one, for this particular row, has to be a 2 or a 3. Or what's the other number that we're missing? A 7. But this can't be a 7. So this one has to be the 7. This one, because there's a 2 there, has to be our 3. Has to be our 2. Okay? Alright, and now we have a 3 and a 6 here, and of course it cannot be a 3 because of there, so this one has to be our 6, has to be our 3, has to be our 6, has to be 3, has to be a 6, has to be a 3. Now 6 and 7, there's a 6, there's a 7, so we'll just flop those fellers around, and there you have it, folks. Pencil mark's very important, ghost row is very important, and that crisscross pattern, there's 2 of them, but with other rules of deduction you can also find the numbers. This one was very good for using both the rows, the horizontal rows, columns, and cubes to also eliminate the numbers and the possibilities. So, hope you guys had fun. Feel free to deposit at the beginning before we do the puzzle and print it off, play along with, see how you do. Feel free to leave any comments, suggestions, and challenges. I always enjoy them. Thank you folks for watching. We'll catch you next time. Bye.